It is the transfer deadline day, and here's hoping we make a few more additions before the window closes. In today's video we have some transfer news, whilst also going over some massive news ahead of the Glasgow derby this weekend. But first, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for daily Celtic content. The release of Celtic's limited edition Adidas jersey, commemorating 120 years of the iconic green and white hoops, has certainly caught the attention of the support. This morning the online store's queue system was stretched to its limits, with a waiting list that exceeded 10,000 at one point. Fans face an hour-long wait to pre-order this piece of memorabilia priced at £70. While the demand is undeniable, it's worth noting that this special edition shirt is unlikely to be worn by the players, much like last year's fourth kit. For some fans, this might take the shine off the excitement a little bit. After all, part of the allure of a new kit is seeing it in action, gracing the hallowed turf of Celtic Park. Interestingly, this limited edition jersey has been met with almost universal approval, a stark contrast to the current Celtic hoop shirt, which has polarised opinion among supporters. Many fans have noted that the special edition kit looks far more appealing than the regular kit, raising questions about why such an aesthetic appeal can't be a consistent feature. If you're still in the queue, patience is the name of the game. The jersey officially goes on sale on September the 8th, but given the overwhelming demand, if you're keen on owning this collector's item, you'd best act quickly. Just bear in mind that whilst it's a nod to Celtic's rich history, it's more likely to be seen in the stands than it is on the pitch. So, is it worth the wait and the price tag? That's for you to decide, but one thing is clear, the jersey has already made its mark, even if it never makes it onto the field. As the transfer deadline day drama unfolds, with the clock ticking relentlessly towards midnight, Celtic have firmly shut the door on any potential exit for academy star Rocco Vata. A £550,000 bid from Italian side Torino has been swiftly rejected, underlying the club's intent to hold onto their young talent. Vata, a lifelong Celtic fan, has been keen to break into the first team, and has shown promising signs under former manager Ams Postecoglou. However, the situation is complicated by the player's contract, which has only 1 year left remaining, and his desire for first-team football. Brendan Rodgers has made it clear to Vata that a regular spot in the starting lineup is unlikely this season. This puts both the player and the club in a precarious position, as they weigh the benefits of developing against the risk of losing him on a free next summer. Despite the uncertainty, Celtic's rejection of Torino's bid sends a strong message about their valuation of Vata and their broader ambitions. With several other transfer stories swirling around Parkhead, including the near completion of the loan deal for Benfica's Paulo Bernardo and the club's refusal to sell Matt O'Reilly, the Vata saga adds another layer of intrigue to what's shaping up to be a frenetic end to the transfer window. As midnight approaches, Celtic fans will be watching closely, not just for new arrivals but also to see how the club navigates the delicate balance of retaining young talents like Vata, whilst also building a squad capable of competing on multiple fronts. Obviously the Glasgow derby is coming up this weekend, and we have some good news ahead of it as both Nat Phillips and Louise Palmer both trained and will be available for the game against Rangers on Sunday. O Kobayashi and Mikey Johnson have also returned from injury and will be available for selection. Fabrizio Romano has today confirmed that Liel Abada will sign a new deal with Celtic until 2027. The 21-year-old was wanted by several different clubs in recent months. Fabrizio Romano tweeted, "Told Liel Abada signs a new deal at Celtic today. Agreement reached on a 4-year contract. He's staying and extending at the club. Excellent news for Celtic as Abada was wanted by many clubs." Celtic have been drawn against Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid and Lazio in their group stages of the UEFA Champions League after a ceremony in Monaco yesterday evening. The boys are hoping for an improvement on last season's disappointing campaign in the tournament, but it certainly won't come easy for Brendan Rodgers and his squad. The Scottish champions were always going to have a difficult draw, having entered the draw as a pot 4 team, the lowest category. However, given some of the other horror groups out there, going into Group E against the trio is a decent result. Feyenoord of Rotterdam were the pot 1 team in the group, having won last season's Eredivisie. It'll be one of the history buffs given the fixtures are rematches of the 1970 European Cup final. Atletico entered the competition from Pot 2 as a third-place team in La Liga last season. They fancy their chances of progression into the knockout rounds and might even be aiming for an outright group win. Lazio pose a stiff test from Pot 3 as runners-up from last year's Serie A, albeit quite a distance behind champions Napoli. Celtic, of course, have a strong recent history against the Italians, beating them at home and away in the 2019-20 season. All in all, it's a very tasty set of fixtures. While obviously a really difficult challenge for the boys, avoiding the super rich teams such as Manchester City and Paris Saint-Germain must be seen as a bonus. A top 2 finish would see Celtic head into the last 16 of the tournament, while a third place finish would result in parachuting into the Europa League knockout rounds. The exact sequence of the fixtures is yet to be decided, but matchday 1 kicks off on the 19th or 20th of September, with the following games on the 3rd or 4th of October, 24th to 25th of October, 7th to 8th of November, 28th to 29th of November, before a final match on the 12th or 13th of December. A huge autumn and winter is ahead for the boys. New Celtic defender Nat Phillips has shared he's heard nothing but good things about the boys from his green and white supporting Liverpool teammates. Phillips has joined on a short-term loan deal until January to help cover an ongoing defensive injury crisis in Brendan Rodgers' squad, and he has jokingly shared that Andy Robertson might even be a little bit jealous of his move. Speaking to the club's official website, the boys' defender said, "Robbo is probably just as excited as I am, I think, potentially a little bit jealous because he loves it here. And the same with Virgil, he had a great time here, so I've heard nothing but good things. We've had a few conversations with Brendan Rodgers since I've been here, and they're all going really well. They've just reassured the decision around the whole thing, and I'm really excited to get working with him. I would say that I'm more of a traditional type of defender, one who does the basics well, and ultimately the job of the defender is to keep the ball out of the goal, and do that by any means necessary. But I would say that when it comes down to it, I'm someone who will put his body on the line for the team. I can't wait to get going, I can't wait to play in front of the home fans, and I'm looking forward to being out there on the pitch." The quicker Phillips gets himself into the team, the better. He's a superior option to Liam Scales and will likely be tasked with forming a productive partnership with fellow new signing Gustav Lagerbilg, who has only made 2 appearances himself. Sunday's derby might come too soon, given his arrival late in the week, but he will undoubtedly be involved after the upcoming international break. Feyenoord have made the obvious Celtic connection after being drawn with the Hoops in the UEFA Champions League group stage. Atletico Madrid and Lazio are the other 2 sides in what looks like a pretty open Group E. The Hoops have faced the Madrid and Rome sides in the Europa League in recent years, but you have to go back to the 1970 European Cup final for the last time we took on the Dutch outfit. Regardless of that, there are plenty of connections between the 2 clubs, as well as a generally good feeling amongst the supports, and Feyenoord were keen to play up to that shortly after the draw, as they tweeted an image of Henrik Larsson, a man who the Hoops signed from the Eredivisie outfit in 1997. Larsson was present in Monaco for the UEFA Champions League event, with Feyenoord tweeting, "It had to be Celtic, right, Henrik Larsson?" When you think of the Dutch giants, Larsson is likely to be one of the first names that comes to mind. The Swede will be buzzing with how the draw worked out, however there have also been a few other connections over the years. The late Wim Jansen, who actually brought Larsson to Glasgow, spent the vast majority of his playing career with Feyenoord. He also managed the club in the early 1990s before taking on the Celtic reins later in the decade. Dutch forward Pierre van Hooijdonk is also remembered very fondly at both Celtic Park and De Kuip. Like us, they are an iconic club of European football. Whilst the matches against Atletico and Lazio may hold the most glamour for Celtic supporters, the clashes against Feyenoord could well be the most enjoyable. Celtic fans, what are your thoughts ahead of the derby and what is your score prediction? Let me know down in the comment section below. That brings us to the end of today's video, guys. Make sure you drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Remember, we have released our brand new t-shirts. We have our Brendan Rodgers Pope t-shirt and our Celtic Ultra t-shirts too. You can find them at celticapparel.com or just go down to the link in the description. Thank you, take care, bye bye.